Sego, everyone. I'm Deya Miller, and this is the Muskrat Podcast, where we're going to be talking to Indigenous fathers, role models, and leaders who are in the Indigenous community. And we're joined by Joe Martin. How are you doing today?
All right, doing good. Sego.
And we're going to get right into these questions. I have so much to ask you because in this community, you're like as a young man that you still are, you're like a role model. A lot of people look up to you because the way that you carry yourself, the way that you're able to speak the language, and the way that you actually give back. And I can see it that the younger generation look up to you, and I want to applaud you for that. But I want to ask you, how did you become like the role model that you are today?
So Sego Sewa Guego, Sego Gonyo Syungyat, Statnu Shwigan Lono, Ni Bojo, Joe Nadijnikash, Makwadorum, Nikrit in the Dojba. Hello everyone, my name is Joe Martin. For those that don't know me, I come from Six Nations of the Grand River, and I come from Mississauga of the Credit First Nation. My mom's a band member there, my dad's a band member here. Um, Thank you for the kind words, the kind praise, Nyawa. How did I become the man I am? Definitely from my upbringing, from my mom and my dad. My mom's Deb Martin, Deb Sue. My father's Cam Martin. Born and raised on Six Nations of the Grand River here. I went to Gawanio, where I learned to speak the language, Mohawk language. I went from kindergarten up till grade 5, and then grade 5 and 6 I did the 50-50 program at OMSK, and then grade 7 and 8 was OM2, full English, and then went to Hagersville with Deya. Got done my high schooling, and then after that I went to post-secondary. I went to Fanshawe College, and I went to be a child and youth worker. Once I completed my education is where I got more of my life experience. So I at the end of high school, the beginning of college, me and my partner, me and my girlfriend at the time, she's my wife now, she became pregnant, and we were preparing to be young parents, right? I was 20, she was 21, turning 22. I was 19, actually, turning 20. And when my wife gave birth to our daughter, I was 20 and she was 22. So, and I was in my first year of college, so I'm thankful I got done school. At first, I wasn't going to go to school. I wanted to go to work to make money, and you need money to take care of your kids. And so I told my mom. I remember telling my mom, me and my wife were driving in the car, and I said, "Oh, I got something to tell you, Mom." I was like, I don't think I'm going to go to college. I think I'm going to go work for a little bit after I'm done high school here. And then she said, why? Why are you going to do that? And I said, oh, I'm going to have a baby. And she told me, she said, well, I'm going to help you out, but you're not quitting school. So I'm thankful she helped me. I got done. It's a 3-year program, and it took me 4 to get done. English has always been tough for me. After I got done schooling, I came to work in the community here. So I worked at the youth lodge. I started when I was 20 years old being a counselor. I'm very thankful. I did my first placement there, and they hired me on as a relief counselor. So I was able to make a little bit of money while I was in school. That was nice. So from like 20 to about 23, I got done when I was 24, and then they hired me on full-time. And I went to work in the women's shelter. And I got to learn a lot about domestic violence in our community and all the hardships that comes with that. And in the program, like, we teach life skills. So that's where I got to hone my facilitation skills and working with random people. It's also like kind of like a crisis line too, right? Because you are dealing with domestic violence. So also honing in on my counseling skills, right? It was a very difficult job. I only did it for a year. And then I was moved. I went to the classroom. Ganakosha, they have a Section 23 classroom. Focuses on, I guess, kids that are removed from school that have behavior challenges. And it's just working with them to help them along the way to get their education and whatever supports I can help them with. From there, I went to Child and Family Services. Or actually, from there, I went to Health Services. I did a 1 year maternity leave contract as the early childhood development worker. I was at JC Hill kind of like as the counselor. I taught, again, programs and whatnot, cultural programs to the kids. That's where one of the kids called me Traditional Joe. So I always thought that was funny too. The kids calling me that. Like, they do look up to me. I can see them. And so I was just trying to teach them, again, like our culture and our history, everything I was taught at Gowanio. That was my main position there, and helping the kids when they wanted to come talk. After that, after I wanted to stay at that job so bad, but it was a maternity leave contract. The lady came back from maternity leave, then I had to leave. And I applied at Child and Family Services, Six Nations Child and Family Services. And I actually got offered a couple different jobs there. And I asked them which one kind of, paid more, because that's how I take care of my family. So I got the family outreach worker job in the family support unit. So my position was to teach the parenting program. Again, so pretty cool. I was taught the positive parenting program. It's called the Triple P program. I'm a accredited facilitator of that program. I recommend it to everybody. I learned some things, right? At this point in my life, I was probably like about 26, 27 by the time I was going here. And I was married now too. And my baby was, like, again, she's about 6, 7 years old. So I was learning all these things about parenting, about, praise, about spending quality time with your kids and making time for that. And I learned a whole lot of things. And I was trained in the teen parenting and the co-parenting. And so helped teach those to the community members. Community members, some of them voluntarily came, some of them were mandated, right, to come by the courts. I also worked the Six Nations Crisis Line while I was working at Child and Family Services. So again, I liked working the crisis line. Within the community, there's a lot of mental health and addictions and depression, all kinds of things going on in the community. Just trying to help teach people, kind of what I went through and seeing if I could help them in any way, just asking the right questions, right? We never give advice as counselors, it's always just asking questions. And then from there, like, I did that for 5 years as a family outreach worker. I ran a lot of programs. I did the family breakfast program. So I would cook. At first, I was getting a caterer, and this is where I kind of learned about the budgets and stuff, right? Like, I was eating a large chunk of my budget up. So I said, I think I can cook it myself, then I can get more breakfasts in. Like, compared to just doing maybe 1 or 2 for the year, I think I could do 1 a month. And that's what I did do for a while. I was me and my wife and our friend Tiff would wake up in the morning and at Child and Family Services, Chicky would come open the door for us, and I'd cook away at 6 in the morning and open the doors at 8, and it was kind of like just a chance for them to see what kind of programs and services we're offering, get a meal, kind of like it was like I set up like a restaurant style, because I know that it is costly for families. And then after that, a good 5 years, I've been the last 2 years now. I'm the Yeli Walunkas. That means they hear the matters for the chief and council. My position is to listen to the community, listen about any concerns, complaints, any unmet needs, and try to direct them to the appropriate service or get their complaint resolved, right, when it is a complaint. I work directly with Chief and Council and with the CEO's team. That's the executive directors. And I work with all the directors and the senior managers of the departments of Six Nations of the Grand River. So I've been doing that the last 2 years. That's been a cool gig. From time to time, I also get to represent the community, when asked to help with a Thanksgiving address or say some words on behalf of Chief and Council once in a while too. It's just a little prepared statement. I do enjoy doing that. Okay.
So you're always working with the community and you're hearing the community out. But as a father, who hears you out?
Who hears me out? Definitely, I'm very thankful my mother's still alive. Now. My mother, I go to her a lot, and my wife. Number one, my wife and my mother. They've been there for me. I actually had, while I was at Child and Family Services, working the crisis line and doing the parenting program about 3.5 years ago, I myself had like a mental breakdown. I had gotten a stress leave from the doctors. It was kind of like life circumstances, like a lot of life going on with my business side. I didn't have my businesses going yet. I was kind of just working as a counselor. I was making all right money enough to take care of my family. But it's nice to have the extras. Everyone wants to take their family on a vacation and build our homes. So I had a couple business ventures that I tried, and like my sweaters here, my t-shirts, my clothing business, and it was just getting started at the time. So there was a lot of stress with that, and like personal stress, and then work stress, and I wasn't sleeping. And my wife actually said, "Hey, I think you're having a mental problem," because I wasn't sleeping right. Um, and I said, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm making money, taking care of our family. No one ain't gonna have us like I have us."
The typical, well, bills are paid, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
yep, yep.
Typical's bills are paid. Actually, but I wasn't sleeping, like, but I didn't know that at first, right? I just knew that I had to make money. I had to get these businesses going. I had a lot of things on the go. Um, and then one night I kind of asked. I said, "Fine, I'll go to the doctors and I'll prove you wrong. There's nothing wrong with me." And we asked our cousin Missy Elliott, to come over to watch my kids, and me and my wife drove up to St. Joe's in Hamilton, St. Joe's Mental Hospital, and went in there kind of scared at first, right? Never been in one before, never been in a mental hospital. I just wanted to prove my wife wrong, that there's nothing wrong with me. And I went in there, parked, came in, kind of arguing with my wife too, right? Like, we're arguing back and forth pretty good. And when I went in, it's like a normal hospital. I seen a lot of people waiting, and there was like people rocking back and forth, people kind of like talking to themselves, and extreme mental health, right? That I'm accustomed to because I've worked in the community, right? I worked at, in the shelter, and then I've seen it. I'm familiar with it. And I said, well, that's not me, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with me. And they checked me in, and I had a talk with a doctor, and they asked me just a bunch of questions. And I tried to articulate myself the best way I could. And I was speaking really fast a lot too. And he went and talked to my wife alone, kind of waiting there. And then she told me they think I had a mood disorder. I'm having some type of stress. And so they said I needed sleep, and they gave me a sleeping pill. I went to sleep for like 20 hours straight, and I woke up, went to the washroom, had something to eat, went back to sleep for like another 8 hours. I was asleep for like 28 hours. When I woke up, I felt so refreshed. Like, I've never had a sleep like that. Like, I just felt, my spirit felt so rested. And I made an appointment with my family doctor as soon as I could. She brought me in right away. I told her everything that was going on. She said it could be a mood disorder, and she wanted to, could be just stress too. And so she gave me a stress leave for 30 days. I got a stress leave for 30 days at work. And so I went to work the next day, gave them my stress leave, and they said, "Oh, well, you only got 3 days leave here, Joe, so you're not going to be paid the rest of the days. Like, you can take them because you got your doctor's note, but it's going to be without pay." And I said, "That's making my mental health worse. Like, I got to know what to say about that." Like, I was devastated at that time. And so I was referred to Six Nations Mental Health. Went to Six Nations Mental Health. I told them everything that was going on: personal life, business life, family life, work life. I told them I'm on a stress leave from my doctor. I told them work only offered me 3 days. I had 3 sick days saved up, and I would have to be without pay the rest of the month. And I asked them, I said, I just need help this month. Paycheck to paycheck, I'm a counselor. Like, I make like 50 grand a year, like enough to take care of my family. Like, I'm not a rich guy. And I asked him, I said, can you help me pay my rent this month? You know, I do live in nation housing, so it's not that bad. Like, it's not that expensive. And I asked him to help with food. Like, can you help me? That's my main two functions as a father. You know, keep a roof over our head,
Yep,
and
yep.
food on the table. And sorry, I'm trying not to cry about it. And
It's
I
all
asked
good,
him for
man.
help, and you know, it's hard as a man to go ask these services for help like that. And I'm a pretty educated person. Uh, I can articulate my needs when I need a need, and that's the one time I did need some help, and I reached out, and I asked them specifically when I needed help with my rent, my food, keeping food, while I was able to take the stress leave. And they told me, Joe, they said, we're sorry what you're going through, but the best we can help you with is a $25 phone card. And I was taken back by that, right? Uh, as a man coming there, talking about my mental health and asking for help with my responsibilities and taking care of my family. And that's what they offered me, a $25 phone card. I told them, I said some explicit things, you know, and I told them to keep their card. And I told them the creator would take care of me. And so I left there and I took my days off. And I'm half Anishinaabe. If a lot of people don't know, that's also a part of my story because
Yep, yep.
my mom's Anishinaabe, right? And so
And you're very proud of that. You go out in the community as much as you're out there saying like Thanksgiving address in Mohawk, but you also you bring both sides of your culture.
yeah,
Like
I
you
try to
never shy away. You never shy away.
yeah, I try to introduce myself in Anishinaabe now. I was ashamed of it at first, growing up as a kid, but getting back, I'll get back to that story in a minute. But when I believed in after that happened with mental health, and I don't want to talk ever bad about services or programs, right? But that's my honest truth. That's what happened to me. I work with the programs and services now, and I know there are limitations, right? But at that time when I was in need, that's what was offered to me. That's the truth. And so I told them to keep it, and I said I believe in the Creator would take care of me, and I'm Anishinaabe, so I have a friend that connected me with an elder from Shawanaga First Nation. It's up north, not too far from Perry Sound, and he brought me in. I shared everything with him when I went to him, and I was going through this. I actually had came in my full regalia, and I came in, and I was came into his medicine house, his lodge, and I brought my daughter and my wife, and my friend and his partner came, and we met them. We met the medicine man, and I call him a medicine man. He don't like to call himself that, right? But he's an elder. And he brought me in, and him and his wife, and they asked me kind of everything that was going on, and they asked me if I was ready to start, and I said yeah, and they had said, "How do you start things?" And I said, "Well, we give thanks, Thanksgiving address." And they said, "Would you want to do it for us?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." I said, I only know Mohawk though, because that's how I was raised. Like, I was raised in a longhouse, and I was at Gowanio is where I learned my language. I wasn't taught my Anishinaabe, a lot of my Anishinaabe teachings, or that way of life. And he said, "No, it's all the same, right? Just giving thanks." And I said, "Yeah." And so I gave thanks. And then he did a ceremony. It's between me and him, but there was something spiritual happen for me, and I came there, and I felt much better. Uh, Came back home and took care of I do belong to some medicine here in the community that I also took care of. So I tried to take care of both sides. And then after that, I'm a counselor, so I try to apply like a wellness plan for myself. And so I I stopped. I was already kind of stopped drinking. Like I stopped drinking in January, and this happened to me in April, May, and I said, "Well, I'm gonna keep not drinking. Right? I don't want to add to the fire." And so I did that, and then I started running. At the time, I was like 260 pounds, and I was overweight. It was hard for me to play lacrosse and smoke dance, and so I started exercising and eating better, eating healthy greens and drinking water. And then I was still seeing my family doctor, and my family doctor got me on some medication for my mood. It was good for it was kind of wonky at first getting the right dose. And then I felt like she did find the right dose. Probably took about 2-3 weeks. And then for 3 weeks, I felt like I was on the ball. I was super focused, but I felt like a zombie. I didn't feel like myself being on that medication. And I had asked the doctor. I said, "No, I don't want to take this medication no more." I said, "Can I get off it?" And I had to wean off it. And then I got prescribed just like kind of like meditation. She gave me meditation. So there's like 3 basic sounds you make, like and Got to do that like 7 times each, and then just eating right and exercising, and that's kind of maintained and balanced me now for the last 3.5 years. I don't take the medication for my brain, for my mental health. It still wasn't diagnosed with anything. Like she said, it could be bipolar, could have been a just straight mood disorder, could have been just caused from major stress. But I did have like a manic episode when I was in that state, and it took me like a month. I was in it for like 6 weeks, and then like I was on those meds like it's probably about 2 to 3 months of figuring me out. Seeing a counselor, got a counselor hooked up with working a counselor, and then that helped a lot. Having someone to talk to, and then other than my mom and my wife, there's not. You don't want to share everything with your mother and your wife, right? So it's cool having your own counselor, and yeah, then been just on that kick the last while, and started my businesses. It's been successful, selling T-shirts and sweaters, Ashwegan Clothing District, right? Very thankful. The community has been supporting my designs and endeavor there, and very thankful. It helps me get around, me and my family, to all the powwows. Like I'm a smoke dancer, so I go all over. This year I went to North Carolina, met up with the Tuscaroras from there. Went to Oneida, Wisconsin. Got to smoke dance there, make some new friends, play lacrosse game, traditional lacrosse game. That was cool, and just the normal circuit back home here.